You're listening to Side by Side with Kathy Wilson. Episode 33. If there's a way in, there's a way out. As Duncan and I left for church the following morning, I told him we were going to church, the same place we were at yesterday. All at once, the eager steps became more hesitant. No need to worry, Duncan. There's no bazaar today. All you have to do is guide me up the aisle for a processional and into the choir loft. Then it will be time for a nap until we go to the boardroom for coffee. This news was received with some relief, and our pace increased again. Plain to see, Duncan wasn't into bazaars. I hope nobody took my box. Maybe I can hide in there again. Always seeking the bright side, Duncan turned. I gave the command, "Duncan, right!" and through the door. Once again, we were using the side entrance, as it was close to the choir room where I would be putting on my choir gown. To be quite accurate on this subject of choir finery, most of my friends live in fear that I might take it into my head to sew sequins on my gown. My argument in favor of the bling is fairly straightforward. If we are singing for the Lord, then why should we not sparkle for the Lord as well? No one has presented me with a decent rebuttal, other than the old standby. We don't do it that way. Completely reactionary. Might as well wear a bustle while we are at it. I think we need some sparkle. Wouldn't our lights just shine, shine, shine? Bring on the sequins, I say. While I was doing my usual wool gathering, Duncan was taking me up the stairs. As we reached the top, we were surrounded by about 20 noisy kids who came piling out of the Sunday school room. Not again! It was a joyous hullabaloo, and Duncan was unable to extricate us from this spontaneous welcome. I greeted all the children and introduced Duncan. I also said that he was shy and would get to know them all one at a time. All at once was just too much for the great Dunc to handle. With the retreat of the children back into the Sunday school room, Duncan guided me to the choir room. Well, Dunc, if you can survive that experience, you're blessed for sure. Duncan's tail swish was somewhat hesitant. He wasn't sure that being blessed would be enough protection. Does the job have danger pay? Dunc needed to know. Is this a dog or a pony? You could count on Doug to come out with an obvious remark and then consider himself a bit of a wit. It was tempting to suggest that his wit was more like a nitwit. He was married to a good friend of mine, so once again, Cat kept her trap closed. Hi, Doug, this is Duncan. He isn't sure about choir at all. I think he was worried about being asked to sing a solo. I found my gown and put the blasted thing on. Another week without glitter. I would have to consider the best way to glow without the sequins. It would take a lot of effort. Bling would be so much easier, and maybe the choir would at least smile once in a while. I'd think about it. My goodness, the organist and choir director would have a heart attack if we all came in wearing glitter. I couldn't begin to think what the congregation would say. The choir made its way down the side aisle to the back of the sanctuary. Someone had just come in the door and failed to securely close it. Doug was following Duncan and I. From the way my guide was moving, it was obvious that this was just too close for Dunc's liking. It must have been about that instant that he spotted the open door and recognized a perfect escape route. The rest of the choir turned right to go up the center aisle, and Duncan made a quick left out the door. Duncan, stop! What are you doing? You're going the wrong way. I insisted that he retrace our steps and go back through the door and up the aisle. As we walked, I could feel the suppressed laughter. I must have turned several shades of pink, but still it was so funny. We were the last ones to reach the choir loft and find our not so comfortable pew. The floor where Duncan was lying couldn't be worse, but all the same, it was great being back with my friends. And I knew God would forgive Duncan's little gaffe. I certainly did. And wasn't the love of God greater than mine? I gave my gentle giant a comforting rub. Rest easy, dear one. These sermons can take a while. Coffee hour was a relief. Sitting at the front of the church, I was conscious of the careful scrutiny of the congregation. You can well see why many came over to meet my dog and congratulated him on almost getting away. Don gave Dunc a bit of advice. You gotta be quick with this one, Dunc. One misstep and you'll find yourself in chains. Neither Dunc nor Don seemed worried. Hickory was waiting for us at the door when we came home. How did it go today, Duncan? Did the organist hit any bad notes? He was fine, but I don't like that Doug guy. He reminds me of that yappy chihuahua next door. Oh, he thinks he's cock of the walk, came Hickory's candid opinion. Thus ended our first weekend at home. A number of the people at church got a special bit of enjoyment out of Dunc's quick getaway. One individual addressed me thus: I guess he's a nice dog, but not as good as Hickory. Doesn't come even close. You should take him back. I sang this song in reply. I will always follow, follow, follow. I will always follow Duncan's lead. He will guide me, I will follow, 'cause I trust my Duncan's lead. I will always follow, he's my dog guide, always here beside me, Duncan leads. And this song was written by my sister, Nancy Steeves, for my dog Duncan.